Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Chainsaw Man, Season 1, Episode 6. So, last time, we got boobs! We did! We did it, guys! We have achieved the goal, and the initial goal was not to be as desired as he thought. It was not as gratifying to finally achieve the goal. It's about the chase, you know? But then Makima comes in and is like, listen here, you want to kill a gun devil for me? Like, I'll fuck you. Basically is what she said. But yeah, we did have some serious stuff going on in the episode where we learned about the gun devil who, in his last appearance before he vanished, killed 1.2 million people in, like, seconds. That's insane. I think it was roughly that, right? Either way, it was a lot of people that died really quickly, and they hinted that that was Aki, who we saw standing in front of his house when it got blown away, losing his family, sparking that revenge that we see in him today. So, we learned a little bit about Himeno, who has a contract with the Ghost Devil. She's been through 6 partners, and you know, that kind of thing affects you, you know, like survivor's guilt and stuff like that. So they found a way. Not like it would have taken that much anyway. It's not like I disliked her from the beginning, but they managed to get me to sympathize with her right away. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where we go here. Where did we end off? They were trapped in like a endless loop hallway, right? We never resolved that, so I imagine we're going to be picking up there and seeing what goes on in this building. So let's get started here, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yep. Alright. I knew we got his name, and that sounds familiar now that I heard it. Kobeni. That's her name. Oh no. Jeez. Calm down, girl. Well, everyone has their quirks, right? She's apparently strong, but needs to work on that fear of hers. Why would you shut the door? Lock yourself away. Oh. Oh, man. This reminds me so much of Demon Slayer with, like, the guy with the drums that hit it and changed the building around. Alright. We got a trap to solve. More than anything in this show, I want to learn more about Makima. I can't wait. Do we get it in Season 1? That's the question, though. I don't know if we do. I think this might be a longer-term mystery. I just love, like, the self-aware nature of the show, that just in the opening, they just have Power in a bathing suit, and they just zoom in on the boobs. They're just like, this is part of the show, guys! Accept it! Move on! I feel wacky today, guys. You ever have one of those naps where you sleep so deeply and you wake up from it, you feel like you just came out of a coma? Or even if you just sleep at night. Like, I had a nap that was like that for me, and I I woke up and got out of bed, showered, and here I am recording, and I feel wacky today. I don't know what it is. Hmm. Oh my god, it's like Portal. Did he see himself going through? Is that what that was? That's crazy. So how do you get out of a trap like this? Do you start breaking things down? Do you look for things that are out of place, maybe? Ah. Use the smoke from the cigarette to find airflows. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other movie tropes. This girl. You know what her eyes remind me of? It's like a more highly animated version of Konosuba when they're miserable or whatever. They just have these like wide eyes. Power. God damn it. You know, at first I was kind of annoyed by her because she's in this. Oh, okay. 818. Don't you? Yeah. Kobani annoyed me a little bit at first. I'll talk more in the discussion, but I do kind of feel bad for her. It's just the fact that she's in this line of work is why it was kind of annoying. Like, if you have this kind of demeanor, you shouldn't be in this line of work, I feel like. But as a person, it makes sense to feel this kind of, like, fear. So I get it and kind of, oh my god, kind of feel bad. A cool shot. I like that shot. Jeez. Oh my god. Kobani, what the hell? Win the Nobel Prize. Oh my god. She's gonna destroy humanity by raising sales tax. That is hilarious. Well, you're about to lose your shit too, then. Not a lot of anime show smoking because they don't. I think they don't want it to, like. Hmm. What anime was it where they, like, replaced the cigarette with something else because of TV? Oh. Oh, shit. Wow. Goddamn. Gonna go talk to her? Or no? Oh. That doesn't seem like something Aki would do. That's hilarious. Oh. Hmm. An interesting episode. Because of the way it's made me feel. I'll talk more about it in the discussion, but it's hit a few things that annoy me, but the way it's done it is in a way that I understand. So it's really interesting. Yeah. We've seen him smoking, so... Got real close. Indirect kiss! Indirect kiss! I knew someone... Of course. Friggin' indirect kiss. I never even thought of that kind of thing. Like, we never did that kind of stuff as kids. In the US here. But I see it all the time. And what? Uh-oh. Ugh! Ugh. This is some... I don't know... Full Metal Alchemist. Oh. They're after Denji. Is it possible that the Gun Devil is trying to dispose of Denji? Oh, this guy's having a panic attack. Oh, I thought it was a guy. Jesus. Oh, hockey. Oh. There's just so much fluid coming from that girl. Can Con not make it to the space? Is it chainsaw time? Oh, okay, whoa. Okay, the arm can do things, maybe? Oh, shit. Oh, man. It reminds me of Envy a little bit. From Full Metal. Some Resident Evil shit, too. Ugh. Hmm. Shit. I kind of thought this guy would... I thought this guy was the one with the knife, but... Really? God damn it, power. Hmm. Oh. What does the sword do? Did someone take it? Kobani? Someone? Oh, power, of course. This girl, man. I started to feel bad for her at first, but now I'm just kind of annoyed with her again. Ugh. They're like pain and agony. Oh, look at that thing. Like spurred that thing into action, it seemed like. Yep. You need to give up all fear. Maybe that's the way to escape. The Eternity Devil. What? That... No wonder it's this powerful. Like... I think there is a decent amount of fear of eternity, right? Ugh. God. What? What is with the sword? Why is it such a big deal? Ugh. Oh. Can Denji go chainsaw mode? Oh, took the blade. Oh, right in the side. Hmm. Shit. Uh, a challenge, but not impossible. Thinking about the others that have died. She's breaking down now, too. If you would just not be a scaredy cat. Well, feed yourself to it and then chainsaw it. Maybe. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Probably won't like a bunch of chainsaws. Power. Very devilish idea indeed. I agree, Power. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. What? What? Ah, that's the first time we've ended without, like, the fight, right? Damn! I like this visual right here. Reminds me of, like, the Harry Potter hallways. Those two damn people freaking out the whole episode. Like, I don't know. I think I can understand it better if they exhausted everything, right? And they were there for a long time, they were out of food, and then they went crazy. But she went crazy from literally 1 second into being in that situation. It's like, I imagine what's gonna happen is I'm gonna learn some backstory about her, or I'm gonna learn her abilities, and maybe it'll somehow change my opinion of her. But right now, Kobani is just annoying as hell. I don't think she should be here. Like, alright, that is it, guys, for episode 6. But yeah, like, they were talking about how they don't know if Denji and Power should be here, right? When this group was together. I don't think Kobani should be here. And even, what was his name? Arai? Like, I don't know that he should be here either. Like, I definitely think that Aki and Himeno have what it takes to, like, stay calm under pressure, but how do these guys get anything done if, you know, they get into situations like Arai was a little bit better, right? He lasted a little bit of time before he just shut himself in a room and had a panic attack, but oh man. Like, and the funny thing is in the beginning of the episode, when Kobani was crying a lot, I was like, oh, come on, like, this is part of your job. Like, what are you doing here if you're gonna act like this? And then I started to think about it, and, like, there is something about just, like, primal fear that you can't help, and, you know, fear affects everyone differently, and I get that. And so I started to, like, sympathize, and I tried to broaden my view a little bit of the situation to not just be, you know, biased and everything. Because, like, I understand that situation is scary, but people in this line of work should be used to that kind of thing, right? And not have the reaction that she had. But I was like, okay, you know, I get it. But then as the episode went on and she just got more and more crazy, it's just like made me dislike her more and more. It's gonna take me a lot for me to like that character. Like, but yeah, on the same note as that, with, like, trying to open my thinking and everything, so I'm not a fan of, you know, peer pressure, so when she was trying to kind of convince Aki to smoke, it made me think a lot less of Himeno, you know, because that kind of thing leads to addiction, you know? Like, they say it just takes one cigarette, and everyone knows it. So, like, what kind of, like, the way I think about it is, what kind of person can you be if you push that onto someone? I feel like you're not a very good person, in my opinion, right? Like, if you're pushing this addiction onto someone. But then I started thinking about it more in the way that these people live their lives. They live it one day at a time, kind of thing. They put their lives on the line constantly. So the idea of smoking probably doesn't really matter to them, because they know they're most likely going to be dead because of this line of work far before cigarettes are going to take your life, right? But so, like, if it was just like a normal, like, slice of life show without all, like, the death and stuff like that, and I saw a character, like, pushing cigarettes onto someone, like, I would probably never like that character again, kind of thing. But in this situation where they're devil hunters, they put their lives on the line, having a cigarette, you know, or a smoking habit, I feel like, or addiction or whatever, it isn't nearly, like, as big of a deal. I still kind of wish there's still that part of me that seeing her push it on him basically is a little sad, and especially knowing that he said, like, just the one and then I'm done, and we see him smoking now, makes it feel even shittier. But I don't hate her for it. It didn't make, like, I felt like it almost made me dislike her character, but I still like her character, especially with the rest of the stuff that we saw this episode too. And the shit that she's gone through, makes sense that she smokes, and it's fine that she smokes if that's what she chooses to do. but don't push it on other people, right? Like, I don't care if you smoke, as long as it's your choice to smoke. If someone pushed it onto you, I mean, it's partially your fault for still accepting and giving into peer pressure, but it's also, you know, like, friends shouldn't do that. If, you know, she's so worried, and that's also a bit of hypocrisy with her character, right? She doesn't want him using this sword, which whatever the sword does apparently takes years off of his life, but she is got him into smoking, which, if he does it enough, could potentially take years off his life, you know? My grandmother passed away when she was in her, like, early 60s, and I know that's still pretty old, but these days, that's still pretty young, too, to die, but because she had lung cancer, because she smoked all her life, so, you know, and I was pretty young when she died, and it really makes me sad because, you know, I have my other grandparents, which I'm relatively close with. I know a lot about them, but my other grandmother here died when I was so young that, you know, when you're a kid, you don't, like, you care about people, but you don't necessarily, like, get to know people because they're adults, you know, like, I didn't really get to know her very well, and I wish I could have known her better, kind of thing, but I can't, and the way I see it is cigarettes took that away from me, you know, so, but anyway, I do still like her character, I just don't like that choice that she made, but I like the episode for eliciting that emotion of making me, like, really start to understand her feelings, kind of like I started to understand Kobani's feelings until that went out the window by the rest of the episode, just annoying the shit out of me. But yeah, it really challenged my beliefs and everything in this episode, and I feel like props to the show for doing that. But yeah. Doopa 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 doo. I guess real fast before we get into anything else, Power's goals of wanting to win the Nobel Prize, which will lead her to become will help her to become prime minister, and then her goal to get revenge on humanity is to raise the sales tax by 100%, like or have like 100% sales tax. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, does 100% sales tax mean that if you buy something for $5, you're paying $5 in tax because it's 100% of the purchase? But yeah, I love how, of all the things that she could do, like killing people, you know, enslaving people, all of like the terrible things you can think of to do to humanity, like the worst she can think of is raising sales tax. And the sad thing is that is more terrifying than death, right? Can you imagine having, like, honestly, it's hard for me to even imagine sales tax because I live in a state where we don't have sales tax. So I go on Amazon, I buy something, I pay the price that it says on the thing, because my state doesn't have sales tax. We go to the store, we buy something, no sales tax. I think restaurants are the only thing that have like a tax, and I don't know why that is because we don't have sales tax, but somehow like there's still some things that we get taxed for, and I'm not sure why. I never really questioned it too much, but yeah, I ended up I went across state lines one time because I wanted to buy some new computer parts cheaper, or at least I thought they were going to be cheaper, at a micro center, because we don't have a micro center in my state, so I had to go to another state to do it, like a couple hours away. I was like, oh, I'll drive there, save myself some money, but they have like a 8% sales tax there or something, and I'm buying like relatively expensive computer parts. I ended up paying like $80 more or something, like $60 or $80 more, just in like sales tax, and it was like, good lord. Like, I was just not used to it because I don't normally deal with sales tax. I was like, Jesus, but Power, like, props. That's I love it. I love it so much more than I'm gonna, you know, kill everyone and rule the world or whatever, rule by fear and stuff like that. I love it. But instead, she's gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize and become the prime minister and then ruin everyone's lives. It's so funny. Uh, we had that flashback moment with the families of the ones that Himeno has lost that kind of retaliate against her. Probably things like, why weren't you there to protect him? Why were you the one that survived? You know, like she said, the devils are dead. They can't take anything out on them, and even if they weren't dead, she can't. They're not capable of, you know, going and slapping them. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what Aki said. Like, you shouldn't take that shit, girl. It's not your fault, you know. And I think that's another thing that made me like really sympathize with her character and be like, okay, I'd probably smoke too if I, you know, led that kind of life and had all that shit happen to me. Still doesn't justify pushing on someone though. Sorry. But yeah, they are. We learned some things about devil hunters this episode, which is cool. We learned that you are legally allowed as a devil hunter to make contracts, which that's interesting. Obviously, that I guess that makes sense considering the fact that so far 2 of the devil hunters we've seen have contracts with devils. If it wasn't allowed, then they wouldn't be allowed to be devil hunters with these powers, right? It would be a contradiction. But apparently even contracts like this are allowed, where you can give up someone's life in order to save others. Like, I wonder if there would be repercussions. Now, it is Denji, but if it wasn't Denji, if it was just like a normal human, would it still be allowed? Because obviously, Denji's in a unique situation where the way the higher up see him is he's just a dog working for them that is to be disposed of as soon as possible, right? Or not as soon as possible, but as soon as his value isn't there anymore, he's to be disposed of, or if he steps out of line or whatnot, and not to get too attached. So is that deal allowed because Denji is Denji, or could you like give up just a normal bystander civilian? Could you be like, all right, well, here, devil, you can have this girl, you know, and let us go, kind of thing? And is that allowed as a devil hunter? I'm not sure, but either way, allowed to make contracts is a very interesting thing. I feel like that broadens things a lot and opens up a lot of like scary possibilities in the future. Not like similar to this one, but yeah, man. And also, fiends can't make deals with devils. So they talked about these contracts are like, they're binding, they're real, they're something physical. They're a pact with like some kind of entity of power or something. It sounds like that, you know, if you break the contract, you die, kind of thing. So it's, even though devils aren't to be trusted, you can trust a contract. So, that's just really interesting too, like, and also, I guess, makes it so, like, does that mean we never have to worry about the Fox Devil betraying Aki because they have a contract, unless that contract is expired or is voided because of part of the contract being broken by Aki, kind of thing? I'm wondering that. Same with like the one with the Ghost Devil with Himeno. Could that Ghost Devil ever fight back against Himeno, kind of thing, and like go against the contract? I guess we don't have to worry about that because they said a contract is binding, and if you break it, you die, kind of thing. So interesting. It'll be. I gotta make sure I remember that, because sometimes I feel like we're loose with rules when it comes to stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we'll have these contracts, but we'll get out of them somehow. Like, I was thinking like, oh, could you make a contract with the devil to let them all go and you eat Denji? But that doesn't, like, depending on your wording, technically you're not saying that Denji can't fight back once you eat him. So you jump inside of the thing, okay, contract fulfilled, and then Denji chainsaws out, right, and goes ham. Like, would you have to like specifically word that in the contract and stuff? I'm just thinking about all these possibilities in the future, and I gotta, like I said, I gotta keep it in my mind that these contracts are binding, and they're not just verbal agreements that are based on trust between the two parties. They're something more. So when we see contracts in the future, they might not mention this again, but we need to remember that it is you know, a very serious thing when these contracts are formed. But I'm curious what the sword really is, because obviously it can't just be a normal blade, right? Unless there's a way you can like Hunter x Hunter Nen conditions where you can somehow set a condition where you lose a couple years of your life by wielding the sword, but you gain immense power kind of thing. But like, I feel like it has to be a devil sort of thing. So does Aki have a contract with another devil that dwells within the sword that consumes like some of his life force every time he uses it, but it's like incredibly powerful? It'll be interesting. I mean, we're definitely going to see it eventually, especially if we don't see it before the Gun Devil. We're going to see him at least try to use it on the Gun Devil. I don't know if it'll work, but you know, this is the object of his goal. His desire is to take down this Gun Devil. So there's no way he doesn't use that sword, or at least try to use the sword on it. So, but yeah, and this devil we had here was the Eternity Devil, which is interesting because I'm trying to think of like, there's definitely fear in eternity, right? But like, I guess could like dying and just eternal damnation, could that be considered a fear of eternity which powers this thing? I'm trying to think of what exactly like the thought process of the fear has to be in order to give the Eternity Devil its power. And I feel like to create a like pocket dimension on this like hotel floor the way it did to keep these people trapped in, I feel like it would have to be a pretty strong devil, it seems like. So, and it wants to eat Denji. So is it normal that devils eating other devils increases their power? Do we know that? I don't know whether we 100% know that or not. So, like, is Denji special in that being eaten powers up other devils? Or is it something where any devil that eats another devil? So, like, if Power were to eat the Eternity Devil, does she gain power? Kind of thing? That's what I'm wondering. But I guess we'll have to wait and learn more about that. But yeah, that fleshy monster thing reminded me of a bunch of different things. It reminds me of, you know, Resident Evil has a bunch of those like fleshy walls that come at you and you gotta just shoot them until they die or whatever. And then there's also, you know, Full Metal Alchemist with Envy and the faces like flowing all over the body that are disturbing as hell. It reminded me a lot about that, and stuff like that. So, it was gross, and then it really turned Resident Evil when it evolved into like a giant mouth or whatever. Like I haven't played those games, but I've watched playthroughs of them, kind of thing, and I've seen some of those monsters that evolve into just giant faces and shit, and stuff like that. But yeah, it was crazy, disturbing, but Denji's plan is, you know, all these people are doing what they can to survive, you know, not much choice left. He jumps in, you know, they were saying it hurt before, so let's just give him a bunch of chainsaws and see what happens. And like I said, I think this is the first cliffhanger we've had on the whatchamacallit, like on a fight, right? I think because the Bat Devil, we went there, it ate power, we killed the Bat, the Leech showed up at the beginning, we killed the Leech. I'm trying to think of all the fights we had, like the one in the very first episode where the zombies happened, like that fight took place there and everything. So I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that we've actually had a fight like start and then, you know, cliffhanger and bleed into the next episode. So, which is fine. It was cool, but yeah. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for me, guys. It was a good episode, despite the annoyance I felt by Kobani. But I feel like there's no way they wrote Kobani the way they did and be like, oh, people will love this, right? Like it was supposed to annoy you and challenge how you like feel about her. So I am interested to see how they take the character, because I can't say she's irredeemable, but I feel like it would take a lot to redeem that character for me now. Like, even if, like, you give me a sad backstory, I'll be like, okay, that's sad, but you probably still shouldn't be in this line of work, right? Or whatever, but we'll see. Who knows? But that's going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more content from me. All kinds of things on there. As usual, link in the description below, or it should be popping up on the screen. See you guys in my future reactions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye.